Have you ever felt the embarrassment and shame coming from those who hurt you before? They avoid looking at you, stammer out apologies, and seem very uncomfortable around you. It's like the air gets heavy when they have to face you. These reactions are not accidents or small mistakes, they come from deep inside them, showing their inner trouble when they think about what they did to you. If you've ever wondered why they can't seem to face you, why your mere existence seems to unsettle them, then this video is for you. There's a profound reason behind their inability to maintain eye contact or their tendency to avoid you altogether. These behaviors are often unconscious responses to the guilt and regret they feel. Understanding this can be a powerful revelation, shedding light on the dynamics of shame and the human conscience. It's important to recognize that their discomfort is a direct consequence of the wrongs they committed against you. Today, we're diving deep into the 7 reasons why those who mistreated you are now drowning in shame and embarrassment. We'll uncover the psychological and emotional layers behind their reactions, exploring how guilt manifests in various ways. This journey will empower you with the understanding that their behavior is a testament to your strength and resilience. By grasping the complexities of their remorse, you'll gain insight into your own power and the impact you have on those around you. Let's begin with the realization of wrongdoing. This is the starting point of their journey of shame and guilt. It's when they first see the truth of their actions clearly, without any self-deception. They can no longer deny what they have done. Imagine the coworker who once spread malicious rumors about you now sitting in a meeting, unable to meet your gaze as the truth they so carelessly distorted comes to light. This moment of clarity is powerful and unsettling for them. Think of the family member who betrayed your trust. Now, they stutter through conversations, the weight of their actions hanging heavy in the air. These interactions are not just awkward, they are deeply revealing. The person who wronged you is experiencing a profound internal shift. They are confronting the reality of their behavior and its impact on you. This is a crucial step in their journey toward understanding and regret. These encounters are manifestations of a profound internal shift, a shattering of the illusions they once clung to. They realize that their actions have real consequences and that their attempts to justify or ignore them no longer hold up. This recognition is the first and most fundamental reason behind their shame. It marks the beginning of their path to genuine remorse and, potentially, to making amends. In these moments, they are forced to confront the reality of their behavior. Stripped of the excuses and justifications they once used as armor, they see, perhaps for the first time, the depth of the hurt they inflicted and the magnitude of the damage they caused. This realization is not a gentle epiphany but a jolting shock to their system. It represents a seismic shift in their perception of themselves and their actions. The awareness that they have caused real harm is both painful and unavoidable. The shame that engulfs them is not just a response to external judgment but a manifestation of their own internal reckoning. They can no longer hide behind rationalizations or ignore the consequences of their actions. It's the voice of their conscience, once silenced by self-interest or delusion, now screaming the truth they can no longer ignore. This internal voice is relentless, forcing them to face the reality of their misdeeds. This shame is the emotional embodiment of the stark contrast between who they thought they were and the reality of what they have done. They begin to understand that their actions do not align with their self-image, creating a deep sense of internal conflict. This realization is a crucial part of their journey toward genuine remorse. It signifies a significant transformation in their understanding of themselves and their impact on others. This realization of wrongdoing is not just a fleeting moment of discomfort but a catalyst for profound transformation. It is the first step in a journey of accountability and potential growth. For some, this moment may spark genuine remorse, leading to a desire to make amends and rectify their past actions. They might seek forgiveness and strive to change their behavior, hoping to rebuild trust and restore their sense of integrity. For others, however, this realization might be a hard pill to swallow, a reality they resist even as it stares them in the face. Their struggle to accept the truth can create ongoing tension and discomfort in your interactions. Regardless of their individual responses, this realization is a pivotal moment in the dynamic between you and those who wronged you. It marks a shift in the balance of power, a reclaiming of your narrative. No longer are you the victim of their actions but the catalyst for their confrontation with the truth. This newfound understanding empowers you, allowing you to see their shame not as a burden you bear but as a reflection of your own strength and integrity. As we move forward in understanding the other reasons behind their shame, keep in mind this foundational realization. It is the bedrock upon which the other factors build, the core truth that underpins their inability to meet your eyes. Fear of judgment is rooted in the awareness of their wrongdoing. Let's delve into the second reason for their shame, fear of judgment. This fear encompasses the anxiety of being observed not only by you but also by others who may now see them through the prism of their revealed misdeeds. Picture the friend who betrayed your trust now steering clear of social gatherings where you might be present. Similarly, envision the family member who belittled you now hesitating to attend family events. These behaviors arise from a profound fear of being judged, of having their wrongdoings exposed to others. Upon realizing their transgressions, they become keenly aware of the possible repercussions of their actions. They start to anticipate whispers, sidelong glances, and changed perceptions from those who once respected them. This fear of judgment extends beyond the immediate circle of people aware of their actions to a wider social reckoning. They worry that their mistakes will overshadow any positive qualities they may have. This fear represents the anticipation of a social reckoning and the dread of being defined by their worst moments. It prompts them to withdraw from situations where they might be exposed or reminded of their misdeeds. The fear of judgment can lead to a deep sense of isolation as they try to avoid the perceived scrutiny of others. This response reinforces their shame and perpetuates a cycle of avoidance and discomfort. Understanding this fear elucidates their behavior and underscores the significant impact of their actions on their social relationships and self-perception. Your presence becomes a catalyst for this fear, serving as a constant reminder that their actions are not confined to the past but have real and present consequences. Every interaction with you brings their past deeds to the forefront of their minds, making it impossible for them to ignore or dismiss their wrongdoings. This realization is particularly potent because it underscores the ongoing impact of their actions on your life and the lives of others. The mere act of being around you forces them to confront a reality they would rather avoid, where the past is ever present and the consequences of their actions are undeniable. They fear that your strength and resilience will shine a light on their own shortcomings, exposing them to the judgment they so desperately seek to avoid. Your ability to move forward and maintain your integrity contrasts sharply with their feelings of guilt and shame. This contrast magnifies their sense of inadequacy and fuels their fear of being judged. The thought that others might see them through your eyes, as someone who has been wronged and yet remains strong, adds another layer to their anxiety. They worry that your resilience will highlight their failings, making it impossible for them to escape the scrutiny of others. This fear of judgment is a powerful motivator, driving them to avoid confrontations and interactions that might force them to face the ramifications of their deeds. It's a self-imposed exile, a retreat from the potential consequences of their actions. They choose isolation over the risk of exposure, preferring the safety of solitude to the vulnerability of social interactions. This avoidance behavior serves as a coping mechanism, albeit a flawed one, as it only deepens their sense of shame and prolongs their suffering. By withdrawing from situations where they might be reminded of their wrongdoings, they attempt to shield themselves from judgment, but in doing so, they also isolate themselves from the possibility of redemption and growth. Loss of respect. In the aftermath of their wrongdoing, they are confronted with the reality that respect is not an unconditional given but a fragile construct that can be shattered by one's own actions. This realization hits hard as they begin to notice the subtle shifts in how others perceive and interact with them. Where there was once warmth and openness, they now sense hesitation and distance. This change in social dynamics underscores the precarious nature of respect and how easily it can be undermined by a single misstep. The loss of trust and esteem from others serves as a constant reminder of their fall from grace, amplifying their sense of regret and remorse. They see in the eyes of others the reflection of their diminished standing, the erosion of the trust and esteem they once took for granted. Each interaction becomes a painful reminder of their actions and the consequences they have wrought. The disappointment and disapproval they perceive from those around them weigh heavily, further eroding their self-esteem. This external validation of their diminished status is a stark contrast to the respect and admiration they once enjoyed. The social repercussions of their wrongdoing are not just imagined but tangible, affecting their relationships and social standing in profound ways. But perhaps even more profound than the external loss of respect is the internal realization of their own diminished self-worth. They are forced to confront the gap between the person they aspired to be and the reality of their actions. This internal loss of respect is a deeply unsettling experience, a fracturing of their self-image that leaves them grappling with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. The internal conflict between their ideal self and their actual behavior creates a chasm that is difficult to bridge. This inner turmoil is often more challenging to navigate than the external judgment, as it touches the core of their identity and self-perception. As they wrestle with their diminished self-worth, they must also find a way to reconcile their actions with their desire for personal growth and redemption. Exposure of true motives. Moving forward in our understanding of their shame, we come to the fourth reason, the exposure of their true motives. This is a particularly distressing revelation for them because it strips away any remaining veneer of respectability or innocence they might have clung to. When their true intentions are laid bare, it becomes clear that their actions were not mere mistakes or misunderstandings, but deliberate choices driven by self-serving motives. This exposure is not just about being caught, it's about having their character and integrity questioned in a way that leaves little room for denial or excuse. This is the moment when the facade falls away, and the underlying intentions behind their actions are laid bare for all to see. The person who once prided themselves on their outward appearance of professionalism or kindness now finds themselves under scrutiny. Imagine the colleague who sabotaged your project now squirming in their seat as their own lack of progress is brought to light. Their attempts to undermine you are revealed not as isolated incidents but as part of a pattern of behavior motivated by envy or insecurity. This revelation forces them to confront the reality that their actions were not just harmful to others but also reflective of deeper flaws in their character. Similarly, consider the acquaintance who spread rumors about you now finding their own credibility questioned as their malicious intentions are exposed. This individual, who once thrived on manipulating perceptions and sowing discord, now faces the backlash of their actions. The community that once believed their fabrications now sees through the deceit, and the acquaintance's reputation suffers as a result. The exposure of their true motives not only damages their standing with others but also forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth about themselves. They must reckon with the fact that their actions were driven by malice or jealousy, further deepening their sense of shame and self-loathing. This moment of exposure is a powerful catalyst for self-reflection and, hopefully, personal growth. Regret and remorse. These are the moments where regret and remorse take center stage, casting a long shadow over their thoughts and interactions. Remorse is not just a fleeting feeling but a profound and persistent sense of guilt and sorrow for their actions. It seeps into their everyday life, coloring their perceptions and interactions with a deep sense of unease. Each day becomes a struggle as they replay their actions over and over in their minds, wishing they could rewrite their history. This remorse affects not only their self-esteem but also their relationships, as it creates a barrier of shame and regret that is difficult to overcome. Regret is the bitter aftertaste of poor choices, the nagging "what if" that follows them through their days. It's the lingering thought of missed opportunities for kindness, the realization that they could have made better choices but didn't. This regret often manifests as a persistent mental dialogue, questioning why they acted the way they did and what might have been if they had chosen differently. It's a weight that bears down on them, affecting their mood and outlook on life. The constant presence of regret can lead to a sense of hopelessness, as they feel trapped by their past actions with no clear path to redemption. It's the realization that they had the opportunity to act differently, to choose a path of kindness and integrity, but instead succumbed to their baser instincts. This regret is a heavy burden, a constant reminder of the moments they wish they could take back, the words they long to unsay. They are haunted by the awareness that their actions were not inevitable but were the result of conscious choices. This awareness amplifies their remorse, as they grapple with the knowledge that they could have been better, done better, but failed to do so. The weight of this remorse can be paralyzing, making it difficult for them to move forward and find peace with themselves. It is only through a deep and honest reflection that they can begin to understand the roots of their actions and take steps towards genuine atonement and personal growth. Shattered self-image. Building upon the foundation of regret and remorse, we now arrive at the sixth reason for their shame, the shattering of their self-image. This process is not merely a minor adjustment in self-perception but a profound and often painful transformation. They must come to terms with the fact that their actions have revealed aspects of their character that are at odds with their idealized self. This realization can be deeply unsettling, as it forces them to acknowledge the gap between their aspirations and their behavior. The shattering of self-image is a pivotal moment in their journey of self-awareness and often serves as a catalyst for significant personal growth or, conversely, deepening despair. This is the moment when their perception of themselves is fundamentally altered, when they are forced to confront the discrepancy between who they thought they were and the reality of their actions. It's a stark and often brutal confrontation with the truth that can leave them feeling lost and disoriented. The self they once took pride in is now marred by their actions, leading to an identity crisis that shakes the very foundation of their being. The internal conflict between their self-image and their behavior creates a cognitive dissonance that is difficult to reconcile. This dissonance can lead to a period of intense self-reflection and introspection as they struggle to understand and integrate these new aspects of themselves into their identity. Imagine the coworker who always prided themselves on their integrity now facing the realization that they threw their values aside in a moment of pettiness. This acknowledgement is not just a passing thought but a profound and painful recognition that they are not the person they believed themselves to be. The weight of this realization can be overwhelming, as they grapple with feelings of guilt and disappointment in themselves. Similarly, consider the friend who saw themselves as a loyal confidant now grappling with the fact that they betrayed your trust for their own gain. This betrayal strikes at the heart of their self-image, forcing them to confront the reality that they are capable of actions they previously thought beneath them. The shattering of their self-image is a deeply transformative experience, marking a critical point in their journey towards self-awareness and personal growth. Missed opportunities. As we come to the final reason behind their shame, we touch upon perhaps the most poignant of all, the realization of missed opportunities. This realization often dawns slowly, as the initial sting of guilt and remorse gives way to a deeper understanding of what has been lost. It's the recognition that their actions have not only caused harm but have also closed doors to potential growth, connection, and happiness. The missed opportunities are not just abstract notions but tangible losses that they can now see with painful clarity. Each moment of betrayal, dishonesty, or cruelty becomes a marker of what could have been, a stark reminder of the positive paths they chose not to take. This is the bittersweet understanding that their actions have not only harmed you but have also robbed them of the chance to build a meaningful, positive relationship. The family member who spent years belittling your dreams must now confront the reality of your success, a success they never believed in or supported. Watching from the sidelines, they feel a profound sense of loss, knowing they could have shared in your joy and been a source of support and pride. Instead, their actions have left a chasm between you, filled with regret and missed chances for connection. The realization that they could have been part of your journey, cheering you on rather than tearing you down, is a bitter pill to swallow. Similarly, the friend who betrayed your trust now sees the depth of the connection they could have had if they had been true. The moments of companionship, the shared experiences, and the mutual support that could have strengthened your bond are now out of reach. They understand that their betrayal did not just end a friendship but also destroyed the potential for a relationship built on trust and respect. These are the moments where the full weight of their missed opportunities becomes clear, and the regret cuts deeper than ever. The knowledge that they alone are responsible for these lost opportunities adds to their shame, as they realize that their actions have irrevocably altered the course of their relationships and their own lives.